5 minutes after 11 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. If you're looking for a good mystery or a good thriller, right now we have one to tell you about. It is titled The Widower's Wife, and I believe Cate Holahan has been with us before. Am I right, Robin?
Yes.
Do you remember? Catherine Cate Holahan is the author of the book called The Widower's Wife, and I'll let her tell you about it. Catherine is an award-winning journalist, a TV producer. She's a contributor to CBS, MSN Money, NorthJersey.com, which is where your son lives, right? North Jersey. Business Week, the Boston Globe, The Record, CNBC, and an award-winning author. And it's always great to talk to her. I just downloaded the cover of the book so I can put it on the streaming video so people don't have to look at our dopey selves. Our dopey selves.
That's always better.
Cate, good morning, Cate. How are you?
I'm well. Thanks for having me back.
And
how are you guys?
We're good. Where are you?
I'm in New Jersey.
In North Jersey.
Bergen County, New Jersey. North Jersey.
What's the city your son lives in, Robin?
Clinton.
Clinton. Do you know where that is?
I think I do. I'm in
Clifton, I'm sorry.
Oh, Clifton.
Clifton,
sorry. Yes, yeah. I definitely know Clifton.
Well, thank you for being on the air with us. And so this one is about a lady who falls off the boat.
A ship.
A ship.
Yes, she does.
Yeah. And we're not sure if it's an accident or not, right?
That's right. The story is told from the point of view of the investigator who's looking. She has had a large insurance policy, so he's looking at whether she fell off because of an accident, or if it was suicide, or something else was going on.
My goodness!
And every other chapter is the woman who fell, her perspective leading up to the fall.
And that's pretty fascinating in itself, because it really keeps the reader thinking and listening to their voices, their own voice, but also the voices of the story from their perspective.
Thanks. Yeah, I was hoping that by doing it that way, you see into the future and you think, okay, I feel like I know what's going on, and then there's something that happens in the past that belies that and makes you change your mind, and so keeps you guessing and keeps the action going.
Yeah, and I would think as an author that would be a real challenge to be exposing both sides to us, the reader, without at the same time giving away something that we want to wait for the end for.
Mm-hmm. It's true. I plot a lot. I have big plot boards and Excel spreadsheets, and that's kind of how I keep everything in line. I'm not one of those writers that just goes, I think I have a good story and I'm just going to get it all out there. I craft it pretty tightly.
Well, that's probably a secret to your success, I would guess, right?
Well, I hope so. I think that thrillers, the whole idea is it's the plot and the twists and when you release certain information. So I think you have to really be cognizant of when you're doing that and plot pretty carefully. It's not kind of just character driven.
And sometimes your investigator, Ryan, his objectivity sort of wavers at times because he's so intrigued by Anna.
It's true. He has, he's kind of came off of a difficult divorce, and he has a backstory with some things that I don't want to fully reveal, but happened in his life that make him a bit more sensitive to anyone who's a victim in any way. And so I think that that plays into how he investigates the case, and also some of his initial impressions.
When you develop a character that dies, do you wish she didn't die so that you could have another? Like, is she a character that you want to see again?
Yeah, I'd love to see her again. But sometimes characters die. You do.
Right. It's just like in real life, right? Sometimes that happens. Is there anything that inspired this particular story?
Oh, sure. Well, it's funny because a lot of my stories kind of come from fear. That's how I deal with my worries and concerns. And so my husband and I just bought a first house in the suburbs, and that means that your mortgage payments due every month, and you kind of go, what would happen if there was another great recession and, the housing prices are falling, and at the same time it's difficult to get jobs. And I made a joke and said, well, there's always my life insurance policy. And I thought,
No. Oh no! Yeah, we're all worth more dead than we are alive for most of us.
Yeah.
Well, you also
Yeah.
you also have to be a super researcher because you have to know the nuances of the insurance businesses and the ins and outs of how people can go about being an investigator.
It's true. I was fortunate that a good friend of my family is in the insurance business, and so I was able to pick her brain with a lot of questions about, well, what do you guys look at when you're determining whether you're going to issue the policy, or what are some of the things that, automatically disqualify people, or how do you determine premiums? And so she was able to give me some great information, and there's also a lot of books that people read when they're going to go into this kind of job, a lot of manuals that I was able to get access to and read. And what I've learned is that, the insurance business really does their homework. So, and their goal is to make sure that they make money off of the policy.
Sure,
So,
yeah. They want to make sure you don't have a murderous husband.
That's right.
But the money issue, that should always be a red flag too on people. The amount that they want to ask for.
It should. It depends, but the characters in my story, they had a lot of wealth at one point, so it was kind of understandable why they would need to take out a larger policy. And so I think that surely if the average salary was $100,000 and you're taking out $10 million, maybe people go, that's ridiculous. But if people are already in a house that's a couple of million, and then you start to see how these larger numbers make sense.
I don't know if you're going to find this funny or not, but we were talking about your book this morning, and then at the same, not at the same time, but maybe 5 minutes later, we had a story about Goofy, Dopey from the Seven Dwarfs, fell off of the boat in Disney World and hit Goofy. And
Yeah.
isn't that funny?
Yeah.
We just had somebody falling off a boat in another story. Now we got a Goofy, Dopey falling on Goofy in a boat.
Well, that's funny because, it's actually very difficult to fall off a cruise ship. They really do set those bars kind of right under the average person's sternum. So the idea is you have to kind of give yourself a boost to really throw yourself over it. So are you sure that it was really just Dopey being Dopey? Or,
No, I don't know. I'm not really sure.
I'm a thriller writer. I can go places with that.
Well, that'll be the next book.
And another thing about your book is that you bring in more characters to be suspects than just the husband.
Right. Well, the husband actually has a pretty good alibi. He was seen at the pool by multiple people when she went over. So it should seem like something else is going on, and there are a few people that wanted Anna to be quiet about things and might have been willing to murder her. So hopefully those people are all kind of in the reader's mind when they're going through the book.
Today is the first day of school, so if you're staying at home right now and the kids are at school and you want a book to read, I'm sure you've got other things to do as well.
Oh, yeah.
I have a copy of The Widower's Wife right here, so call me and I'll leave it for you at the station here. The rest of us have to go buy it. Kate, give us a way to do that. I'm guessing Amazon and all the others. Plus, do you have a website?
Oh, that's right. I do have a website. It's CateHolahan.com. So CateHolahan.com, and that has links to all the major booksellers that go straight to the book. But you can also just go on Amazon or Barnes and Noble or wherever books are sold and ask for the book.
How's the weather in New Jersey today?
It's a little overcast, but we've had a heat wave, and so I'm actually hoping that it rains and kind of breaks the humidity.
Yeah,
that's been the problem here, right?
Yeah, that's what's happened here in Florida, too. Kate, thank you for being on the air with us. Good luck with everything, and come back with the next book.
Okay, will do. Thank you so much for having me.
The next thriller where Dopey crashes on Goofy and somehow survives or something.
That's right. He always wanted to be Goofy. He wanted to be Goofy. You have to get rid of Goofy somehow.
Oh, funny. Thank you, Kate. We'll be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. Look for a couple of heavy showers and thunderstorms this afternoon. Partly cloudy otherwise, with a high of 88 to 92. Partly cloudy this evening, low 73 to 75. Then Thursday and